than they are, they're always happy to go on the road and take on any opponent, anywhere, anytime, the old Ross Lyon motto. In terms of a sports bet same game multi, I think the Wildcats will get it done. Alex Sara, love watching the young man play. And McVeigh and Doyle. Doyle's the one who needs to get going for the JackJumpers. There you go, $5.75. The Wildcats and the JackJumpers. What a way to start off this series. Enjoy.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Considering we were off to a pretty poor start as a team and I was off to a poor start individually, that gave me even more motivation to try to get back to what I know I'm capable of playing. I think the biggest thing for us during that bad patch was we had a big team meeting and everybody was able to speak their mind on whatever they were feeling, you know, just kind of unfiltered. And it was a very positive meeting because everybody was receptive to what was said. And I think that just kind of let everybody know, like, no matter how high we get, no matter how low the season may get, we're in this together, and that kind of helped spark the change.
Well, at round 5 in the season, those same Wildcats fans you see there, they were banging down the door to the Wildcats front office saying, we want change and we want it now. The ownership, the coaches, they held strong, they made the right adjustments, and now they're coming in as favourites to a semi-final series in a hostile, sold-out crowd. Damian Martin, Liam Santamaria, welcome to the Coca-Cola pregame show, and this is exactly what you want as a Wildcats fan.
For sure, big opportunity to go 1-0 up in this series, keep home court and get their playoff run off to a great start.
For me, it's going to come down to rebound, who wins the rebound count, and who's disciplined enough to disrupt rhythm and timing when they're on defense. Both teams are too good with ball in hand that if they get multiple looks at the ring on any possession, they're going to score. And if they can just run through their offensive structure like they've trained Monday through Thursday, they're going to score. Who's willing to get in the stance and make the offense second-guess what they want to do?
Damien, so I'll start with you there. In concise terms, the Wildcats win how?
By owning the tempo, getting stops, kicking ahead, getting into their running game.
Liam, the Tasmania JackJumpers?
For the JackJumpers, it's about containing Bryce Cotton. It's about that anytime you play the Wildcats, got to limit the MVP and the league's leading scorer.
Well, the Perth Wildcats, they've been there and done that. The JackJumpers have been ever so close, but to get to the championship series, you got to win the semis. Perth, Tassie, starts now.
For the Perth Wildcats, it's been a year of trials and triumphs.
Where to now for Perth? They've lost their last 3 games to Melbourne, Sydney and Adelaide.
They've got problems at both ends of the floor.
The energy looks really bad, and we know Bryce Cotton is struggling. Some changes need to be made. I don't know what's going on.
They pile the pressure on Perth. That man and his team are under all kinds of pressure now.
When you're usually 2 and 5, you probably start to really waver from your mindset of a group. We will figure it out.
Down it goes! That's the Bryce Cotton we know and love in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Wildcats survive. RAC Arena roars as one. Sold out crowd at John Cain Arena. Every single moment in this game matters. We're going all the way to the end. Loose ball, 7 seconds. Usher, Jordan Usher. A dagger right through the heart of Melbourne United. The Wildcats season is back on track. Ball in the hands of Cotton. You knew what was going to happen. Bryce Cotton at his very, very best. They finished top 2, straight through to the playoffs. They just keep getting better and better.
Marching into RAC Arena, a JackJumper juggernaut.
Will Magnay inspires the JackJumpers, and Tassie progress to face the Wildcats.
Tonight, the playoff series, Game 1, starts now.
Indeed it does, and we could not be more excited as the Red Army flocks into RAC Arena here in Perth. Joe Healy and John Casey are with you. Case, we love occasions like this, and it feels like this one could be a little spicy.
Joe, best atmosphere in the NBL, bar none, but I don't think it's going to faze the JackJumpers tonight because their coach, Scott Roth, and 3 of their players have all played in grand finals here in front of the Red Army.
Can't wait for it. The atmosphere and excitement is palpable outside the arena. I can only imagine what it's like inside, which is where we find Jack Heverin and the rest of the crew.
Thank you very much, Joe. It is our honour and privilege to be here at RAC Arena, and we can tell you that the atmosphere is absolutely phenomenal. One of the best brains in Australian basketball, Liam Santamaria, a man who has a trophy named after him, Damian Martin, as the best defensive player of the year. Here we go, semi-final series. Good things happen when these two get together. 4 of their last 5 games have been single-figure margins.
This is what it's all about. You play for the postseason, so it does not matter what happened in the first 28 games. It doesn't matter about the series split between these two teams. They are both built to play right now on the semi-final stage. They're going to have to be at your best. If you want to win tonight, you can't be at 90%. You've got to produce 40 great minutes of basketball.
Liam, I had the honour of being here in round 11 for Tasmania and Perth, one of the best games of the season. Watched it again during the week just to get back into the spirit for tonight. Incredible game of basketball.
Cracking game, 1-point margin in the end, and hopefully it was a window into what we're going to see over the course of this series, because it was a roller coaster. Perth up, Tassie up, Magno was big, Bryce Cotton had an enormous impact. The thing I noticed from this game was that a bunch of Wildcats stepped up. They had 5 guys in double figures. They had 6 different guys hit 3-pointers, so they're going to need the supporting cast to step up. It came down to that shot. Crawford couldn't knock it down, and the Wildcats got the 1-point win.
Well, the ball ended up in the hands of Bryce Cotton. The ball is going to spend a lot of time in that man's hands tonight.
Yeah, but it can't just be in his hands. It's what movement has taken place beforehand. Is it after a stop in transition? Who's sprinting into a drag screen? Yes, the ball in his hand is when the Wildcats are at their best, but more importantly, it's after he's come off curl cuts, pin down, staggers. There's got to be something else prior to him simply getting the ball, because if the JackJumpers can set up defensively, it's going to be a long night for all Wildcats, not just the superstars.
Since things turned around in round 5 and they went on that amazing tear of winning 13 out of 15, they've done a lot of things right, the Perth Wildcats, but the rebounding has been a stat that's haunted them most of the season.
Yeah, they've never really been able to become a strong rebounding team, the Wildcats. This is why it's so important. Look at the rebounding percentage. So for the Wildcats, they ran 9th, second last in defensive rebounding percentage. And Tasmania, well, they ranked 2nd in offensive rebounding percentage. So they are going to be a force on the glass, game in, game out, with guys like Marcus Lee and Will Magnay and others crashing the glass. Can Pinder and Doolittle and Harris and Sarr and the like block out, grab the rebound and spark their transition play.
Is that intent? Is that structure? Why is it that those numbers fall down, Damon?
It's a combination of different factors. It's taking predictable shots at one end, and then once that shot goes up, where is my defensive triangle? Who's getting back on safety? Who's picking up full court to try and slow that initial outlet pass? So it comes down to a few things, but shot selection is usually key, and then an intent, a need, a necessity just to want to go and get the ball, even though by all rights you have no reason to be able to win it, but some people just come up with it time and time again. Most players have a possession winner. For Tassie JackJumpers, they've got a few.
Starting 5 for the Perth Wildcats. Keanu Pinder, the only player for Perth to have started every game across the regular season. For the Tasmania JackJumpers, stability has been the name of the game. You can see Marcus Lee with his shoulder taped up. He is right to go. This is the same starting lineup now for 15 games in a row.
And for every single game the entire year bar one, when Milton Doyle wasn't here. So great stability, and they're ready to go.
Big crowd at RAC Arena. We had a big night last night to start off the semi-final series. And now it's Perth and Tasmania's turn in front of the Red Army in the nation's west. It's the JackJumpers in possession first. First look at Marcus Lee since playing just 22 seconds in their game against Illawarra. That looked good.
And the first look there at the matchups from the Wildcats coming into the series, Christian Doolittle going to Milton Doyle. Versatile defender, can play a variety of different positions, and he's got the job on slowing down Milton Doyle at the defensive end.
4th meeting of the season between these two teams. And their 10th overall. Pinder draws an early foul on Lee.
I like that first play. Clearly Bryce was used as a decoy. Pinder slipped it early, assuming that the defense thought the ball was going to go to Bryce Cotton. They need other players to step up. Liam alluded to that in the pre-game. So is it going to be a Pinder? Is it going to be Usher? Is it going to be Doolittle? Is it going to be a number of them? Because you can't just rely on one player to score enough points against a very good outfit in the JackJumpers.
We saw that in the round 20 game in Tasmania, albeit that was decided for Perth. They couldn't move out of top two, so it didn't mean as much. But Bryce Cotton was a late withdrawal, and points seem really hard to come by in the second half.
Well, that's because, you know, they played through Cotton. He's their guy. Just, you know, remember the Boomers team from years ago and campaigns past? They played through Paddy Mills. That's what this Wildcats team does with Bryce Cotton at the offensive end.
Shot clock rolls down to 10. Crawford loves that little fadeaway. Pinder takes care of the rebound. Cotton, his first look of the night, spins on Doyle, kicks it back out to Pinder, knocks down a three. An early win for the Wildcats.
That's massive for the remainder of the game, because you got two of the best shot blockers in the game in Lee and Magnay. If they have to respect that three-point shot, it draws them out of the keyway where they want to spend most of their time making players like Bryce Cotton change the way they are shooting it, having to put more arc on the ball. But if they're out guarding the three-point line, that keyway is wide open.
33% across the season for Keanu Pinder, so serviceable from outside. Pinder falls down early in this offense. Cotton a long way from the basket. Shot clock rolls down to 7. They get the ball out of his hands and it's deflected out of play.
Good rotations, great hard show from Marcus Lee late in the shot clock on Bryce Cotton, and then active hands from Milton Doyle. And you see the knock Pinder took right in the choppers. He's okay, and they've got 5 seconds to work with on the shot clock.
Doolittle off the inbound. Falls short. Anthony Drimmick takes care of the rebound for Tasmania, which has been such a positive number for them this season. Now through Milton Doyle. His patient, meticulous Tasmanian offense. It's knocked down a play, and 4.9 left on the clock.
I've been impressed with the Perth D with these first few possessions, Damo. Nothing easy for the JackJumpers. Here they are operating late in the shot clock.
Yeah, I was curious to see whether they're going to get out into a denial and stop that easy ball rotation from east to west, sideline to sideline. Instead, they seem, that's okay. We're going to clog up within the three-point line. If you're going to score, it's going to be against 2 or 3 red jerseys.
McVeigh backs down off the glass. Jack McVeigh, what a season that he's had. Crowned in the All-NBL second team for the first time, and he's still smiling.
Yeah, and he's become an isolation scorer. A guy you can drop it to when you don't have anything else happening, and he can make something happen one-on-one.
Hiram Harris from outside. So the first 2 3 balls of the night belong to Pinder and Hiram Harris. That wasn't on the bingo card for the first quarter.
And it's frustrating for the JackJumpers because they identify certain guys that they're going to live with shooting the rock. You see the short closeout and then the late contest from Jack McVeigh. They're going to be okay with Pinder shooting, okay with Harris shooting, and they've made him pay 2 from 2 in the early going.
McVeigh off the inbound, blocked. Hiram Harris got a good chunk of that. No such issues for Perth in terms of the way they're starting the game. Melbourne United very slow out of the gates last night after a nearly 3-week break. Wildcats look absolutely in this game as Jack McVeigh just levitates in the air.
That's tough. The way he decelerates as he steps his way through, hangs and scores.
Hiram Harris, aggressive. Head down to the basket, draws contact.
I think he was very lucky that McVeigh hit him on the hand on the way up, because Lee was just waiting for that one. He was licking his lips, he was excited, but he did get foul going up. And Hiram Harris, Everyone loves having a teammate who knows his role, they embrace it, they do it to the best of their ability. He has soaked up the starting opportunity and run with it. He's been simply brilliant. He was a big part of the reason they went from losing 5 in a row to finishing second on the ladder.
Started 20 games this season, as you say, Damo. Came into the starting lineup in round 6.
And a big part at the beginning was, okay, I've got to come out here and help get the ball to Bryce and get the ball to Christian and get other guys going. But the way he's grown over the course of the season to get on the attack, to keep the defense honest and say, you're going to play me for the pass, I'm going to turn the corner and get myself to the rim.
So an early 3-point lead for the Wildcats at home. First of the 3-game series between these two. Back on Monday in Tasmania. The basket won't count.
And they're the ones Ty can't afford. He is too important to this team that if he gets another 1 or 2, then he's going to spend the rest of the half on the bench. You want him out there. They play at a better tempo with the ball in his hand in the backcourt. Just keep your hands out. You don't want to wear those easy ones.
This time an offensive foul. And Tasmania picking up their 3rd of this first quarter, and there's still 6:42 remaining.
And this Perth defense just frustrating Tassie a little bit in the early going. You know, they're 3 of 7 from the field, and just 6 points here in the first 3 minutes and change, and everything's just a little bit difficult at the moment at the offensive end.
Harris will hand off to Cotton. Drimmick for company, kept it alive. Now Harris needs to get busy with 4 on the clock. He travels first.
Maybe just drag the pivot foot a little. John really certainly doesn't think so. He has a different perspective, Damo.
Well, I didn't see it. I'd love to see a replay of that, because I'm going to go back to a comment you made earlier in the year. Hiram Harris would have got that 7 on the clock. I better get it back to Bryce Cotton. Instead, he backed himself in. I thought he made a nice play, but maybe he did drag that one.
And 1 for Lee. JackJumpers will be on the line to tie it up.
One of the rare post touches we've seen for the Tassie JackJumpers. I think they do need to flatten out the defense, roll that ball into Lee, roll it into Magnay when he's out on the floor, keep trying to penetrate and get into that keyway.
And Damo, you caught it. That's the second foul on Ty Webster. So Jordan Usher's going to check in. Webster's going to come out. They lose that push of the ball that he provides from the point guard spot, and it's an issue that they deal with on the regular. Webster picking up early fouls, but it brings in Usher, their 3rd leading scorer, another guy who can tick the scoreboard over.
And you go all the way back to round 1, which was a long, long time ago now, but Jordan Usher lit it up, 35 points, season high. We haven't seen maybe to that level, Damo, but gee, I remember in round 1, the Wildcats fans were thinking, what have we got our hands on here?
I called the game and I thought, look out, Bryce, there's a #1 player in town. We're going to run the offense through this guy. But he came out here as the defensive stopper, and a lot of critics were saying that maybe he shouldn't have dropped 35 because he might have taken the foot off the pedal at the defensive end. But he's balanced now. He's been fantastic for the Wildcats in the back end of the season, and look to him to be an X-factor. He can do a bit of everything, and he's an excitement machine when he gets going.
Meanwhile, the push of the ball from Hiram Harris puts pressure on the defense and picks up Jack McVeigh's 2nd personal.
Of course, don't miss your chance to be a part of the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters Global Tour in 2024. It's coming to a city near you. Jump online and check it all out.
Majuk Deng coming in. McVeigh coming out. We haven't seen a lot of Majuk Deng.
Round 12 was his last game.
That's an interesting little chess move from Scott Roth, dealing with the early Jack McVeigh fouls.
He's been out with a very serious ankle injury, Majuk Deng. There was a point not that long ago where it didn't look like he'd get back at all, but here he is, and playing first quarter minutes in game 1 of the series.
He's played some good games here at RAC Arena, and I like that with him out there, they can continue to space the floor, they can continue to get through their sets, try and keep that keyway open. So, yeah, he may not have played a lot of minutes prior to this, but this is not an uncommon position for him when he's here in Perth.
So Hiram Harris already has 6. Make that 7 of Perth's 11 points in this first quarter. Let's get over to John Casey.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, I spoke with Majuk Deng pre-game. He said he's back to 100% fit for the first time in a long time. Season high of 17 for him, so he can certainly have an influence on the game. McDonald and Magnay preparing to check in here for the Jackies at the moment. But I wanted to comment on Clint Steindl because he came in under an injury cloud as Doyle fires the three. But it's just a back problem, the travel. They just wanted to make sure he was 100% ready to go. The 34-year-old's the oldest player on the roster for the Jackies, but he's ready to go, and he's a two-time championship winner with the Wildcats.
Keanu Pinder tees off for his second three of this first quarter. Good news for Tasmania. They want their captain out there tonight. Here's Majuk Deng, first look. He's off target. Tasmania 4 of 10 from the field in this first quarter, 0 of 3 from outside. It's Cotton at the other end, no good. Harris gave a push. Points won't count.
Yeah, good block out from Majuk Deng, had front position. And he drew that foul on Hiram Harris. Just his, it's his first personal. He's going to check out. Wagstaff comes in, but this is the moment I think a lot of us have been waiting for. Will Magnay back out there? Last time we saw him, he absolutely tore up the Illawarra Hawks, and the matchup with Keanu Pinder is underway.
Career high 25 points. An early foul there for Pinder in that matchup. And
straight to the free throw line. Some easy ones as soon as you sub in. You've got to love that.
It's a free throw in the first 2.5 seconds of being on the court for Will Magnay.
That used to happen to me when I would sub in on the fourth quarter, but it was intentionally done by the other team.
25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 blocks in that game against Illawarra last week. He was the dominant player on the court, and it was frighteningly in the way that he was protecting the rim.
Yeah, and the Wildcats, they're going to need to make sure he's not the dominant player in this series, because he can potentially be that. Of course, it takes a few minutes to check into the game. Marcus Lee takes the heat out of it. But Pinder and Alex Sarr, when he checks in, they're going to need to do a job on Magnay.
How do they do that?
Well, firstly, they've got to make sure they keep him off the offensive glass, because if he can get involved down there, then he can be a big problem. Then they need to make sure that their pick and roll coverages are on point, because as he mentioned a case in the pre-game, he gets silver service from his guards as a lob threat over the top, and then you got to make sure you respect his rim protection. You don't go right at it.
Yeah, you got to pick your poison. You got to say, okay, we're going to live with a Jordan Crawford pull-up jumper. We're going to live with a Milton Doyle pull-up jumper. The last thing we want to do is double team or stay with the guard too long for that drop-off, for that alley-oop. I was going to say, don't allow him to get any easy ones. They've already set him to the free throw line within seconds, but he is their biggest threat. He might come off the bench, but he could end up being the best player on the floor.
Jesse Wagstaff knocks down the first. Playoff game number 59 tonight. Goes to equal 13th in the all-time record alongside the legendary Leonard Copeland. And there's the Wagstaff family in the crowd. 13-10 lead to the Wildcats. 4:30 to play in the opening quarter. Sean McDonald wide open. Knock that down. Cotton in the open floor. Foul.
And that right there is a perfect example of why defensive rebounding is so important for the Wildcats. They want to play with pace, primarily because it's how you get opportunities for Bryce. If you play in the half court against a set defense, they're going to make things tough, but they haven't given up a single offensive rebound, and they've had a good push of the ball.
Anytime Bryce has been in on-ball situations, he's had to give the ball up because the big man that's showing, he's not leaving. He's not leaving till the ball's out of Bryce's hand. This was a rare occasion where he got to run. There's no double team. He draws a foul.
Perth extend their lead to 5 in front of a big crowd at RAC Arena. Good feeling in the air. The Wildcats have had a couple of weeks to recalibrate. Started well in game 1. McDonald finds Magnay underneath.
And that's what we're talking about, what kind of threat he is as the roll man. Really good execution, the handoff, the roll to the rim. McDonald sets him up.
And that's the purpose of having Deng out there. When McVeigh went to the bench because of fouls, he still warrants the defense respecting his three-point shot. Jesse was late on that rotation, but he's also thinking, do I leave a three-point shooter wide open?
Christian Doolittle, a bit slow to get up. Let's take a look firstly at the McDonald fine. Harvey Norman replay.
Just kept it long enough to force Pinder to commit. He thinks Wagstaff should have come across earlier. You can see him calling, saying, hey, come on, vet, you got to come across and help me out. And then the next possession, Magnay just a little sloppy, picks up the offensive foul with the moving pick.
At this stage, Bryce Cotton gets to knock one down from the field as Alex Saar checks into the game tonight. First look for the next start. Fabulous season he's had with the Wildcats. Here's Wagstaff for three. Saar kept it alive. And the long levers of the 7-footer are a problem for Tasmania already.
35. Got a hold of the shirt. Bonus, 2 shots.
And as Magnay got straight to the stripe, Alexander Saar gets that opportunity. The length, the athleticism, the threat on the offensive glass. Steindel's grabbing his jersey.
Third in the Next Generation Award voting, won by Sam Froling, but the next few months in the life of Alex Saar are going to be pretty special.
I don't know why you're looking at me. It's the man in the middle here, Liam. He's going to be in that green room, NBA draft day, just watching his guy walk up on stage, first, second, third pick. It's going to be early.
Well, that's going to be a great stage, but this is an unbelievable stage for Alex Saar as well. So good that he's still out there. He hasn't shut it down. He wants to win a championship and perform in the playoffs.
Doyle spins. Good D from Saar, but Doyle still draws contact on Doolittle for a little reach in.
Even better than the challenge is the fact that he wants to be here for that challenge.
Yeah.
A lot of people might rest on the laurels saying, okay, I've done enough. I'm getting drafted. I'm going to the NBA. No, he wants to be out there. He hasn't taken any shortcuts at training, and we're going to see that hard work pay off.
And that man, Jordan Usher, that was just on screen chatting with the Perth assistant coaches pre-game. We're talking about how great Usher is for the energy of their group on the day-to-day, at practice, the positive competitive energy. And they say specifically for Alexander Saar, those two have become really close, and Jordan Usher has done a great job mentoring the young man through his first professional season.
You didn't answer Damo's question, though. Are you in the green room? Have we established
Come on.
this?
I got to be there, Jack.
Has to be.
Let's do it.
Got to make that happen. Now it's back to 3. Less than 3 minutes to play in this first quarter. There is Saar on cue. Nice touch from the big man.
You mentioned that relationship those two players have. You couldn't have timed it any better, but you spend 2 minutes with Jordan Usher. It's hard not to leave with a smile on your face.
And the Juk Deng hemmed in against the baseline. Doyle tees off. And successful. That's now 0 of 5 for the JackJumpers, who are the #1 3-point shooting team in the competition coming into postseason. As Cotton throws that one out of bounds.
Yeah, it's because everything's just a little clunky offensively for Tassie in this first quarter. You know, at times they're the best in the league at executing, moving the ball, and things just work so smoothly. But right now it's a little bit sticky. The ball movement, the player movement, it's a little bit clunky right now.
It's moving, but not necessarily with a purpose. The timing is slightly off. The passes aren't quite on cue. And then all of a sudden, they're forcing themselves into something that they didn't start that offensive hoping to get to.
They get bailed out with 3.1 seconds left on the shot clock. Usher made a play at the ball, but got the body at the same time.
And it was a bad foul in the end, just 3 seconds on the shot clock. They had him in a really tough spot. Usher knows it. He says, man, I should have just been a little bit more solid in that moment.
Clint Steindl on the line. John Casey.
And Clint Steindl, statistically the best free throw shooter in the history of the NBL, has not missed a free throw for 2 years and 56 games. In his 319 games in 11 years, he is a total of 257 out of 287. Has missed just 30 times in 11 years. Another side has not missed for 2 years.
You're very lucky you made those two. Let's just say
that made me nervous. I love Clint. I do not want to be at the game where he misses.
Isn't that some remarkable shooting?
Wow.
Some remarkable guts from Case as well to do it while he's on the free throw line. He stood up for it. Cotton being chased around by McDonald. Doolittle into the paint. Foul! Points will count.
Too big, too strong. We speak about his impact at the defensive end, but it's in those moments he can get things done offensively as well. Good, strong take. Of course, off the kick from Bryce Cotton, and then just bodies up, overcomes Clint Steindl and scores through the contact.
Yeah, both teams with a couple of surprises. We've seen Majuk Deng, now some first quarter minutes for Corey Webster, who since round 11 has seen his minutes dwindle to 4.5 minutes per game on average.
If there's a guy who knows what finals basketball is in the NBL, he's just subbed on. He's won plenty of championships over with New Zealand. Now he gets an opportunity to do it with Perth. I would be backing him in any time of the day or any time of the season, in particular when it comes to the finals.
Here's Steindl, wide open look. It's well short. Down into the arms of Magnay. Presence of Saab was enough to make things difficult. Crawford on the move, off the glass, scores.
It's a funny stat. Jordan Crawford's one of the league leaders in points off rebounds, in second chance points, because the JackJumpers do such a great job of kick-outs off offensive boards, and he's always ready to fire, and that time attacks the closeout and kisses it off the glass.
They know where to find him. And he also puts himself in a position knowing where his offensive rebounders are. The best three to shoot is after a miss. The best time to go off the dribble is after a long closeout. And he gets that ball off his bigs. He does a great job of attacking.
Average 17 points a game, top 10 in the competition. For steals and assists, was he a little unlucky not to make an all-NBL team?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought the big three, which has become a big four for Tasmania, Crawford, Doyle and McVeigh, I thought they'd all find their way in, but Crawford was the odd man out.
He was asked about it and said he's just going to move on, but those things burn players. Cotton will be on the line.
This is the foul discipline that Scott Roth was talking about during the week. Yes, it was a seed plant into the minds of the officials, no doubt about it. But he's also bang on just in terms of his message to his own guys. You've got to keep Bryce Cotton off the free throw line.
But there's no excuses after that. Your coach has said it publicly, he said it behind closed doors, media's been drawn to it as well. And all of a sudden, the only points he has scored is at the free throw line. You've got to be careful of that. Even though the Wildcats are winning, it's actually quite quiet in here by Red Army standards because they haven't had a big Bryce Cotton three. They haven't had an N1 yet. Instead, it's been all free throws because they do go to another level once he gets going in particular.
Last minute of this first quarter. It's been an arm wrestle. Everything we expected between these two. Crawford on the move. Blocked by Saab. Points will count.
Good take from Crawford. Little hesitation move. And Saab just a little late coming across with the goaltend. Now, courageous move from Scott Roth, bringing Jack McVeigh back into the game. 2 first quarter fouls. Needs to defend without fouling.
Jordan Crawford up to 5 points. He's Tasmania's leading scorer. Saab almost controlled that rebound. Jack McVeigh does. And Crawford starting to get busy. 2 more.
That's just quick, crafty and clever. He just saw there a mismatch, went straight into the hip of Alex Saab, gets to the line. That's a hell of a player. That's the basketball IQ I was hoping the Wildcats were going to show at the other end and take advantage of Jack McVeigh on his second and just say, Doolittle, go post up. Let's see what happens when the other team's best player is in foul trouble.
Alex Saab comes out of the game. Jordan Crawford had 20 points in Tasmania's win over Illawarra. Was plus 20 on that night as well, and just set the tone.
And he's got their offense ticking over now. We spoke about how it was clunky throughout this quarter. Knocks that one down, and he's got a game-high 8 points now.
The JackJumpers come from 6 down to make it 24 apiece. And the final play of this first quarter. Doyle guarding Cotton. Again, they get the ball out of his hands. Corey Webster got his man up in the air. 2 on the clock, doesn't get it to count. Doyle throws up a prayer that wasn't that far away, but quarter time at RAC Arena. It's exactly the way we wanted it. 24 apiece between the Wildcats and the JackJumpers. Game 1 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Great to have your company for game 1 of the series between the Perth Wildcats and the Tasmania JackJumpers. 24 apiece at quarter time. Jordan Crawford's come to play. He has 8 for the Tasmania JackJumpers. Hiram Harris, the star of the opening quarter for the Perth Wildcats with 7. But as the scoreline suggests, Damien Martin, Liam Santamaria, nothing between these two so far.
And loving it. It took a while for Tassie to get into their groove. In the last couple of minutes, it was in their favour. And then it was some of the role players who stepped up early to make sure that the points were ticking over on the scoreboard.
A lot of fouls in that first quarter. 19 fouls combined. A whole bunch of free throws. 24 free throws combined were attempted. These teams have got to start defending without fouling. A bunch of guys on multiple personals already.
John Casey, you were listening to Scott Roth at quarter time.
Yeah, always interesting listening to the huddle with the JackJumpers. Scott Roth was all about poise. He said to his team, you've got your feet wet now, let's take it from here. But it was all about poise and getting through their system. And Joe Healy was listening in with the Perth Wildcats.
I sure was. Bryce Cotton and Jesse Wagstaff took control initially in that huddle. They said, guys, it's a tied game and no worries. We've got a couple of things to tidy up, but we're good. JR then said offensively they need to keep looking to attack and, of course, just be a little bit cleaner with their fouls and keep that discipline.
You feel like, Liam, it's a point you've touched on already, that foul discipline might be a big factor in this game.
Well, Doolittle checks out. He's the latest to pick up his second personal. So the Wildcats have Webster, Doolittle, and Hiram Harris. And there's 3 JackJumpers who are all on the bench right now managing multiple fouls. This is going to come into play here in this second half.
What was spoken about in the build-up to this game? What was one of the main articles? Fouls. You've got to pay attention to what's been spoken about.
Pinder, blocked by Magnate. Fans don't love fouls, but they do love burgers. And the code word is pressure. Courtesy of Hungry Jacks and courtesy of Majukdeng. Look at Will Magnate, the athleticism, the timing.
Bit of a statement play. First time Pinder goes right at him at the rim. He feels like there was contact. Damo seems, you feel similarly?
I do. These aren't with bias, red eyes at all. Just on the replay, I think it was more hand than ball, but he's one of the best shot blockers in the league. And the referees, you know, it's just a normal thing to think, no, that's probably clean, because Will Magnay, more often than not, gets a clean block.
Averaging nearly 2 blocks a game, Will Magnay. Had 4 of them against Illawarra. Also has the best plus-minus of any player in the competition across the regular season. He's guarding Keanu Pinder out there at the moment. Webster back out on the floor with 2 early fouls. Usher with a little step back. That's nice.
Very nice. He's got Anthony Drumick on his heels, and look at Jordan Crawford. Buzzsaw goal on the other end.
McVeigh up top. Big knockdown for Tasmania.
Set up by Crawford. The push of the ball in transition. The Wildcats in early rotations, and McVeigh's open on the arc.
That was their first made 3 of the game. They were 0 of 7 before that. The Wildcats have only had 6 attempts, and they're a prolific 3-point shooting team, but such are the quality of the closeouts from the JackJumpers, they've had to go off the dribble, which isn't necessarily a strength of theirs.
An offensive foul on Tasmania, and that will be Jack McVeigh's 3rd. So the gamble from Scott Roth that you spoke about, Liam, is now going to force him to make a decision.
Yeah, no, he needs to get him out of the game. He hasn't done it quick enough. McVeigh's going to need to defend this possession with 3 personals.
Fabian Krislovic getting set to check back in. Will McVeigh, Will Magnay, I should say, also sitting down at the moment.
Oh, geez, they missed an opportunity.
They had it.
McVeigh switches out on Cotton, and Webster looks him off.
Jesse was not happy either. Jesse was calling for the ball to come this way, saw the mismatch, wanted to get into Bryce's hand to try and drag another foul out of McVeigh.
Jack McVeigh was pleading his case for a flop there. He'll have to sit down for, you would think, almost the remainder of this second quarter. Wildcats by 1. Crawford, little pull-up is off the front of the rim. Wagstaff cleaning up the scraps, as he's done for a very long time. Now Usher doing a little dance into the mid-range.
He's feeling good. Yep. He's talking smack too, Jordan Usher. He's up and about. And you can see just in the aggressiveness, the confidence that he's operating, that his juices are flowing. The elite hustle from Wagstaff, and then Usher, he says, you know what, I got the mismatch. I'm going to work here. I got space to operate. Gets to his spot, knocks it down.
Perth open up a little 3-point lead. Any lead in this game is going to be worth its weight in gold. Here's Doyle on the move. That was interesting. Webster playing through Cole. Oh! Keanu Pinder brings RAC Arena to life with impact.
Oh, disrespectful from Pinder. All over Marcus Lee. The find from Webster, and bang! On your head.
And Usher's got this crowd going. He's trying to pump them up even more. So is Ty Webster. The Red Army are loving it. I said they were quiet in the first quarter. Let me take all that back. They've gone to a different level in the second.
That is going to leave a mark. The reaction of the fans here at RAC Arena, they've still got their hands on their heads. They can't believe what they've just seen. Huge dunk from Keanu Pinder. Timeout JackJumpers with 7:25 remaining in this second quarter. Let's get over to Joe Healy, who's got a special guest.
I do, thanks. I have the GM of Basketball Operations, Danny Mills, with me. Danny, how about that play? What have you made of this game so far? You're an anxious spectator?
Anxious, yes, is a good word to put it. I think the guys have settled. It's obviously a really physical game. The referees are calling it tight. I think there was 19 fouls in the first quarter, but hopefully we can get some momentum and carry that into the second half.
How does it feel to be here now? Because there's been no secret it's been a challenging season at times, but you've come out of it the other side.
Yeah, it has been. There's been lots of up and down, but for us to be here right now in this moment, especially after a 3-week break heading into finals, I think it's exciting. Everyone was just really itching to get out here and compete against another team.
Obviously, the playoffs are really exciting, but there's a big couple of months coming up for you guys and for Alex Sarr as well. Can you talk me through the process and some of those dealings? Because obviously there are a number of NBA execs in the house. How is that for you?
It's been an amazing experience for the club. To have an 18-year-old like Alex come down here and choose Perth as where he wants to spend his last season before he gets drafted has been amazing. Yeah, we've had NBA personnel from all 30 teams come through Perth, which has been exciting for the club, but also just to have a player like Alex within the program and for him to be accepted by everyone and for him to buy into what we're about, and it's about one goal, and it's winning the championship as a team.
No doubt. Well, thank you so much for the time and good luck for the rest of this in the series.
Thanks, Joe.
He's done a fantastic job, Danny Mills, with Alexander Sarr in terms of immersing him into this organisation. John Riley, the coaching staff, all the teammates, the way in which they support that young prospect. As Doyle misses, Lee puts it back. Damo, Doyle's found it a little bit hard to get himself going so far.
He has, but don't you worry about him. Once he gets going, he's one of the hardest players in the league to stop. And I want to go back to Danny Mills saying he's anxious when he watches games. That is an understatement. Out for fun, for my own fun, I just like to walk up through the tunnel and just start asking questions during the game. And it's like when I ask my 5-year-old questions when she's watching Minions on the TV. She says, yeah, yeah, You know they're not listening. They don't care about anything I've got to say. They're just focused on the entertainment in front of them.
Let's keep an eye on Jesse Wagstaff here. And he seems to have an issue with his hand. Off that last play, Crawford wide open. That rattles out. Now the RAC Arena crowd has found some voice. They're a bit slow to get going. Usher extends the lead to 6. Yeah, 6 points of his own. He's playing a big role. Doyle tees off with a hand in the face. It's now 0-6 for the night.
Yeah, he's 0 for 4 from long range. He's got 2 points from the free throw line. It's the one assist that he's just hasn't been able to find his way just yet. That one's hard off the rim. And Drimmick came off with the head contact there with Keanu Pinder. Pinder's sore.
Well, Drimmick really wanted them to review it, but after Scott said, no, we're good, we'll see what the referees come up with, he was holding his head as well. So both players are a bit sore right now.
Just saw him then. He was a little slow off camera while we're seeing that replay to get over to the huddle. So I'm sure Case will keep an eye on Anthony Drimmick and how he's going at the moment. Interesting little stage at the game. Certainly the last 2 and a bit minutes have belonged to Perth.
Well, with no McVeigh, they really need someone to step up, and that could be a Drimmick. You know, Milton Doyle's still trying to find his way into the game, like Liam said, but Drimmick's the one that can be a quick hitter. He can hit back-to-back threes, really change the tempo of the game, the energy of the game.
Meanwhile, for Perth, they've got that guy in Jordan Usher.
Yep.
You know, he's been really rolling in these last few minutes. He's checked out now, but Pinder's up and about. You know, Wagstaff's being aggressive at the offensive end, so Perth have the advantage right now.
35-29. If you missed last night, Melbourne United won game 1 of their semi-final series against Illawarra. Gee, what a night. Wow. That had a bit of everything.
Incredible drama. Amazing comeback, and man, the Hawks and their fans would just be licking their wounds today.
It doesn't matter who you go for in that game. By the end of it, I don't have a tattoo on my body, but I almost went to the tattoo artist and said, can you just put Delhi and a little love heart? He was just absolutely incredible.
It might very well be the best game that Matthew Dellavedova's played here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Game 2 of that series on Sunday in Illawarra. You imagine the Hawks will be seething after last night. They're keen to get back on their home floor. Marcus Lee gets a little payback on Pinder.
Okay. I love that. That is incredible. Anything you can do, I can do better.
This matchup's just got a little interesting all of a sudden. Usher has 6. Pinder is Perth's leading scorer with 7. Turnover Perth. And there's Marcus Lee all alone under the cup. Wagstaff got him from behind.
I've seen it all. I've seen it all. 15 years, that's the most athletic I've ever seen Wagstaff out there.
Pinder doesn't get the home court bounce. Crawford has been a problem off the dribble for them and continues to be.
Well, Webster slipped under the ball screen. Early drag screen from the JackJumpers, and Webster took the easy way out, and Crawford made him pay.
Joe Healy, you were listening to the Wildcats in that timeout.
Yeah, sure was. John really just wants to avoid Tassie generating any momentum. He said defensively, we just want to pick the ball up a little further up the floor, a little earlier, and just try and slow them down a bit.
His second three of the night. Pinder is now the leading scorer for Perth with 10. And another one that was not on the pre-game bingo card.
He has not been shy, has he? Any little bit of daylight, he's letting it go, and he's knocked down a couple.
Marcus Lee with an easy tip in. It's that rebounding that we've been talking about.
And I keep thinking we're going to see Magne check back in, but with Lee rolling the way he is, there's no reason to put him in unless they want to go play really big basketball.
That's something we haven't seen a lot of. Ty Webster draws a foul on Lee. And that'll be his third, so that may force the hand of Scott Roll.
Yeah, Magne's going to come in. Right. Here's the take from Marcus Lee. Rips it through and rocks the rim. As you say, a little bit of payback for the throwdown a few minutes ago. And then down the other end, really classy spin move from Webster. There's Pinder with the catch and shoot three. He's 2 of 4 from long range. Keeping the defense honest.
Ty Webster on the free throw line. Had a purple patch between rounds 14 and 17. Averaged 15.5 points a game and 4 assists, Ty Webster. When Perth were just going through a little bit of a funk, Ty Webster was the man who really stepped up for them.
Yeah, I think he had the balance right of when to shoot the open three versus when to go off the dribble and try and apply pressure on the ring. And that's where he found himself getting in the keyway, where usually he's been a facilitator, and he started to back himself to be a scorer. And so now he just knows, okay, when I'm out there, if I want to get on the ring, I can. And now there's 2 options, facilitate or back myself to score.
John Casey keeping an eye on Anthony Drimmick.
Yeah, during that timeout, Drimmick spoke to the medical staff, waved them away, said he was all right, didn't require any ice on his forehead where he took that knock, so he appears to be okay. And certainly the Tasmania JackJumpers support crew statistically are the best in the business. They've had 7 players who have played every game this season, and to put that into context, Perth has had 2. Some teams have had 1. But to have 7 players, and as we know, their consistent starting 5, where they've only used 6 starters, and the same 5 have started every game bar 1, well, that puts some emphasis on how well the off-floor support for the Tasmania JackJumpers is.
Stability from day one. It's been the name of the game for Tasmania.
Meanwhile, the Wildcats had a moment of confusion, only had 4 guys on the floor.
Yeah.
Everyone yelling and screaming to the bench. Jesse Wagstaff says, I'll run back out there.
And trust Jesse, the guy with 3 different engineering degrees and MBA, he was always going to be one to pick up on a numbers thing.
Doyle was stripped. Good hands by Corey Webster. Cotton still yet to hit a field goal and has only taken 3 attempts in the first half so far. Here's number 4, and it's good.
Feels like he should have got a whistle too. Bryce Cotton.
JackJumpers have had their problems shooting the ball from outside, 2 of 11. So they deferred down low to Will Magne, and that's always an option.
He wanted it. He gave the head nod to Doyle saying, give me the ball, and he just backed himself in. Christian Doolittle, you've got to remember, he is the Wildcats' best defender. But at the end of the day, you can't guard when there's that difference in size and strength.
Tasmania bring it back to 4, the difference. Shot clock at single figures. Tough jumper for Corey Webster.
They need that. When Bryce is being denied on one side, you need a playmaker late in the shot clock on the other, and Webster steps up.
Doyle looked up and saw Alex Sarr in front, wanted no piece of that. Crawford happy to take it on. Here comes Cotton, all the way in, defers to sub. Timeout, Tasmania. Cotton starting to find his way into the game now. 46-38 Wildcats lead, and Cotton's not happy.
Great timeout from Scott Roth. Look at the ball screen from Wagstaff. The punch screen forces the switch, and then Cotton's on the attack. Beautiful drop off for Alex Saab, but Wagstaff sets up that play early at half floor to get Cotton heading downhill.
That's two guys that just played alongside each other, know each other's strengths. In transition, giving plenty of space. Don't wait to set that screen at the three-point line. It gives the Tassie JackJumpers time to get back, go under, hard show, double, whatever it might be. Set it where there's no help on the on-ball screen. And he may not be scoring, he may not have a whole lot of space, but he's dragging in multiple plays every given stage. And credit to Alex Saab, made great possession down at the defensive end, just playing big, and then runs the lane and is rewarded when his defender goes to sag off and go help on Bryce.
37 years of age, Jesse Wagstaff. Still playing good basketball, best part of 16 minutes a game. Now there's talk about whether he's playing next season. Should he go on, do we think?
Oh, I have no problem putting it out there that he's crazy if he doesn't. Now, you don't play the game for the legacy piece of it. But the reality is he's the only player to have won 6 championships at a single club, and he could go on to be the only player ever to win 7. He'd stand alone with 7. But from a Wildcats perspective, if he plays on, if he's fit and healthy next season, then he will surpass Ricky Grace with the most games played by a Perth Wildcat in a red uniform. He's deserving of a legacy like that, even though he's had an incredible career today, and he's helping the team. He's fit, he's healthy, and he's loving it.
Well, that's the other big part, isn't it? You're right, you're bang on about all of that. But he's, as you say, he's helping the team win. You know, he's out there making winning plays. He doesn't have to play huge minutes, but when he's out there, he's making important plays. He's blocking shots, Jack, all of a sudden.
Which is, again, another one that wasn't on the bingo card tonight. Doyle drives, can't score. Magnay can't tip it in. Wildcats are having a good few minutes here at RAC Arena. Doolittle backs down on Crawford. Loose ball to be won. It's knocked out of bounds, and Tasmania get possession back.
So Milton Doyle's the elephant in the room out here right now, because he just has not been able to get going. He's 0 for 8 now from the field. Usually when he's not scoring, he's picking up dimes and he's setting guys up. But right now, Christian Doolittle and the Wildcats have got him under wraps.
But the beauty of their offense is an equal opportunity offense. So whilst he's a superstar of the game, they're only down 6 points going to the free throw line to make that margin 5, and he'll still continue to get shots within the structure of it. And if it's not there, it'll go to someone else.
And that is coming off 2 of 11 against Illawarra as well. So the numbers aren't stacking up for Milton Doyle. Certainly not doubting his class, but at the moment, he can't get the ball to go.
Yeah, but I thought he was actually really good in that game, because he only had the 5 points. He had the 10 assists.
Yeah.
And if that, you want to throw bodies at him and get it out of his hands, well, he's happy to set up his teammates. As Crawford misses from the line. And meanwhile, Crawford's ticking the scoreboard over. He's got 13, Marcus Lee's got 10, and as you say, Damo, they're hanging around.
Biggest lead in the game so far has been 8 for Perth. It shows how tight this first half has been. Webster blocked. Magnay came flying in and gobbled it all up. Krislovic takes his possession on the low block. He's got a real problem. Works it out to Drimming. First attempt of the night, off target. The JackJumpers get another look at things. With a fresh 14 on the clock. Doyle drives. Still can't score.
The rim protection from Saar, troubling Doyle at the cup.
Cotton between the legs. All the party tricks, but misses from underneath. Crawford, quick release 3. Once more, Tasmania get a bonus possession.
But they got the mismatch here. They got the 7-footer on Jordan Crawford. Results in a block shot.
He got a finger on it. His fingers are a lot longer than most of us. 30 seconds of game time left. Shot clock down to 10. Hiram Harris rattles out. And the JackJumpers call off the chase. Want one meaningful possession to take into half-time.
It'd be big time for the Tassie JackJumpers if it comes from Milton Doyle as well. If they're going to see that ball go through the hoop one time before they go into half, he'll be feeling a world of good.
0 of 9 for the night. There's the moment, and he stands up and delivers. Milton Doyle on the half-time buzzer. But before that, we've got a timeout.
Good call from Riley. You got the timeout. You're going to lose it at halftime, so you might as well draw up a play, but you called it, Damo. And Scott Roth called it too. He knew exactly the value of getting an open look and a bucket for Milton Doyle late in this quarter. Great play call, beautifully executed. Catch and splash from the corner.
Yeah, credit Jordan Crawford. He really is running this team beautifully right now.
So here's how it looks right now. Tasmania won their way through the seeding qualifier, and they are here in the playoff series. Best of 3 series. Melbourne and Illawarra on the other side of the draw. United lead 1-0. And all roads lead to a 5-game championship series.
And it's why pressure's on Perth in this moment, in this building tonight. Because yes, you've got home court advantage in this series, but you need a win tonight to maintain it. If Tassie can somehow hang in this long enough to steal it away at the end, they're going to head into My State Bank Arena for game 2 with a chance to close that thing out.
And I love how it's all about mindset. If you're the away team, you consider game 1 of a series, hey, this is a free hit. Go in there. Don't worry about any pressure. There's no stress on this one. There's no reason to be anxious. The home team, hey, we better keep this one. Otherwise, we're trying to keep the series alive on an away court.
So a little bit of time added, 4.2 seconds for Perth now. They can't get the ball into the hands of Cotton, so it has to be Doolittle. 3 points the difference at halftime. The Wildcats led by as much as 8, but you can just never get rid of Tasmania.
3 points. This is everything we'd hope for and more. At times, it's been different players we were expecting stepping up to the plate, but overall, we expected a tight one. Discipline, there's been a lack of turnovers. I'm loving what we're watching.
Let's get over to Joe Healy.
Thanks, Jack. I've got Keanu Pinder with me. Keanu, 10 points, a couple of nice threes, but talk me through that dunk because there was a bit of feeling in it.
Yeah, I had a little bit angry because I didn't get a call on the play before, so had to throw it down with some authority.
It's a great battle of the bigs out there. JR's talked a lot about the importance of rebounding. How does it feel for you?
It's a bit frustrating right now. We're not doing a good job on the defensive end on rebounding, but you know, if we pull together and stop that from happening, I think we're going to pull this one out.
Good luck for the second half.
Thank you.
Case, over to you.
Thanks very much, Joe. I've got Jordan Crawford here with me at the moment. Jordan, that's a spectacular first half from you, but not exactly the way the JackJumpers wanted it to unfold.
Yeah, we got to clean up on the defensive end. We're sent them to the line. They scored maybe 15 to 16 points at the free throw line. We take that away. It's another ball game, especially them being at home.
And how do you make those adjustments? Because they're calling a lot of fouls.
Yeah, you know, just being disciplined, maybe not reach in as much and just wall up and, you know, just play how we normally play.
Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
46-43 at halftime at RAC Arena. Game 1 in the playoff series between the Wildcats and the JackJumpers. We'll talk about it all next in the halftime show.
Yes, it is game one of the playoff series between Perth and Tasmania as the Wildcats are leading by 3 points at halftime here at RAC Arena in Perth. Joe Healy and Damien Martin with you. Damo, looking at the highlights of this first half, it was tough just as we expected.
It's been extremely physical, and that's what you come to expect in postseason basketball. But what we did expect to see was Bryce Cotton dropping double figures, Jack McVeigh doing something similar. Instead, it's been everybody else stepping up, and that's resulted in a nice, close game, 3-point margin going into halftime.
No, it's been brilliant. We're going to take a look at the Hungry Jacks halftime highlights as well. Keanu Pinder, he really has stepped up and is making his presence known in this one.
One of the highlights of the season was that dunk, and then Marcus Thiem thought, well, you know what, if you can do it, so can I. But you just knew that Keanu Pinder was out for a big game. That first open look he had, he backed himself to knock down the three, and he sees it goes down. And then another time he's open again, so he thinks, I saw one, why not another? But this is what we've come to expect from Keanu Pinder, cutting down the lane, finding the open space, and then saying, give me the ball, I'm going to dunk on whoever's in front of me, even if it's Marcus Lee, who is the best shot blocker in the game. But when he starts making threes, it's cause for concern for the opposition. How do we guard him when he's scoring from everywhere?
No doubt, having a big impact there. You can see on the Blackmore's shot chart. There's been so much talk in the lead up to this one about the backcourt, but the bigs are having a huge impact.
They have. It's almost like they've read all the media, they've heard all the criticism, all the TV saying Bryce Cotton on one end, Milton Doyle on the other. No, they're saying don't forget about us in the key way, and Marcus Lee's been fantastic, and as we just saw, Keanu Pinder's been the Wildcats' best.
But what about for Tasmania? Jordan Crawford, having a brilliant impact on his own, and he is taking it to the big guys.
But the one thing I'm loving most about Jordan Crawford is his basketball IQ. As soon as there's an offensive rebound, he goes to get the ball, and he knows what to do with ball in hand, create for himself, create for others. But it's the calls he's making as well. He knows who to go to at the right time, dependent on score, dependent on foul trouble, dependent on mismatches. That's what's impressed me the most, which may not show up on a stat sheet.
The basketball smarts are well and truly on display there. Damo, who wins it in the second half from here?
It's whoever can be disciplined to keep their hands out, stop sending the other team to the free throw line, and take care of the ball. Right now, there's been a limited amount of turnovers. If both teams can make sure they control the ball, it's going to come down to who can execute when the game's on the line.
Well, this is game one of this series. Of course, last night we saw the Hawks and Melbourne United go to battle. Game two is on Sunday. What are you expecting after that roller coaster last night?
What an incredible game. But Illawarra at the Snake Pit, they're going to be vocal, they're going to be passionate. I'm expecting this series to a game three back in Melbourne. Illawarra to take care of business at home.
The Hawks fans will be hoping for exactly the same thing, but they've got to deal with that man who was fired up last night. Plenty more to play for here at RAC Arena in Perth. It is halftime. The Wildcats are leading by 3. Let's see what's in store in the second half.
Welcome back to RAC Arena. Perth lead the Tassie JackJumpers 46-43. JackJumpers assistant coach Mark Radford's been kind enough to give us some of his time. Mark, what have you liked so far?
Probably liked our resilience there in that first part of that first quarter. Like they really come at us, and then we sort of got some momentum back, and even in the second part of that second quarter, finished off with a 3 from Milt. Right, it was a good way to go into the change rooms.
And what didn't you like about the first half?
Yeah, probably the tempo was a little bit up, and the floor got spread a little bit, and they was in the paint pretty early. So I think we've got to really get that tidied up, and we've got to keep our rim attack at the other end.
McVeigh with 3 fouls, Lee with 3 fouls. Do you push them out there at the start of the second half here?
Yeah, I think so. We've got plenty of guys that can play. We've got good depth. Dent come in and give us some valuable minutes, so that doesn't really worry us. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of pressure, and it's going to be a long game, so we don't want either of those guys out of the game.
And you were an assistant coach with the Wildcats in another life. You enjoy being back here with the Red Army?
I enjoy being back here if we win.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, mate.
Mark Radford chatting to John Casey. Couple of big dunks from the first half as well. Let's start with Keanu Pinder.
It was brilliant. Liam, we got you and I off our chairs. We couldn't believe what we just saw in front of our eyes. We've been praising Lee for being one of the best shot blockers in the game. And then Keanu, as we heard at halftime in that interview, he was frustrated about a no-call earlier. Thought I need to throw one down with authority. And then Lee caught Keanu Pinder watching away from the ball. He was ready to go out and show when he thought it was going to be dribble handoff. Lee said that keyway is open. I'm going to get some revenge.
I feel like that one might have meant a little bit extra to Marcus
I think so. He put it down with authority. And we haven't seen it from Will Magnay just yet, though. 4 offensive rebounds. He's going to get the start here to begin this second half. And Magnay, Doyle, McVeigh, they've got some guys who can have some big games, who will be looking to get themselves going to begin this second half.
Interesting point from Mark Radford about the pace and the tempo of the game. Very unlike Tasmania, the way that first half was played.
Yeah, they play at the lowest pace because they're sound defensively, and then they like to execute their stuff on offense. And Perth, they want to push, they want to run. And it was very much played at Perth's tempo in that first half.
So the Wildcats just getting some last-minute instructions. How big was that last knockdown for Milton Doyle? Just to see something go in the bottom of the net in the first half.
Absolutely massive, not only for confidence, but for the rest of the team to be on his shoulder at halftime going, hey, we've got you. That was a great shot. But you know what? That one went in, but the other looks you had, we want you taking those. It's one thing to hear it from your teammates. It's another thing for you to see it happen when there's a nice little combination like we just witnessed. Halftime would have been so much positivity from his teammates to him, his coach to him, and from him internally saying that felt good off the fingertips. Get me another one. I don't know what's going on here, but the Wildcats are close to just starting the game, not on defense. It wouldn't surprise me if the referee hands the ball over. They've just got out on court on time.
Come on, guys. Some of us have got flights to catch tonight after this game. So we're underway for the third quarter. 46-43 at RAC Arena. Great to have your company around Australia and around the world for game 1 in the playoff series between these two rivals. Jordan Crawford picks up from where he left off in the first half.
Wow, a Jordan Crawford poster is what the JackJumpers go to begin the second half. Wasn't expecting that.
And Milton Doyle, who I said would be feeling good about himself, he was the one saying, no, let's put that ball into the post with Jordan Crawford. I love the unselfishness.
Cotton a long way from the basket, spins and drives, and scores!
Marcus Lee, Keanu Pinder in the first half, Crawford, and then Cotton in the second.
He just continues to find ways, Bryce Cotton. That's caught a Tasmania foot.
Of course, this is what they're trying to do, the JackJumpers. Copped a little whack in the face there, Cotton. They want to run Cotton off the arc and force him to become a driver, send him into their shot blockers, but the threat of Pinder on the arc has drawn Magnay out, and he finishes at the rim.
And it can be a game of margins as well, and inches. And right there, you see McVeigh would usually be at the free throw line, at the elbow there, trying to stop, Bryce Cotton being able to get into the paint. But he's got those 3 fouls. He doesn't want to take that gamble so early into the second half.
You can see in the bottom part of the screen there, Perth 17-3 this season when the MVP has 15 points or more. Magnay can't score from close range. Cotton assessing his options. And they swing to Pinder.
That's big, really big. He's 3 of 5 from long range now. And it just makes it so tough for Magnay. He wants to hang around the rim and send shots away, but Pinder's knocking it down from long range.
13 points for Keanu Pinder. Only Wildcat into double figures. Crawford continues to crawl into these little gaps like only he can.
So crafty. It's a post move the power forwards and centers wish they had. Showing it all.
17 points for Jordan Crawford. Been enormous for Tasmania so far. Doolittle in the mid-range. Been reliable from that spot across the regular season.
But that's back-to-back possessions where Bryce has had 2 players on him. He's been willing to pass it to Hiram Harris, and it's been Harris has almost been the quarterback finding the open man because someone is open because Bryce has 2 on him.
This time Doolittle wide open, can't cash in. Pinder, they're flying in, but be a foul, and that'll be his third.
25, over the back.
It's a frustrating one for John Riley. Pinder's out there playing really well. Picks up his third. Now, if this was the second quarter, you'd bring him out. But right now, early in the third, more inclined to roll that dice.
53-47, Joe Healy.
Yeah, guys, the Red Army are out in force tonight. 10,624 in the house to watch these teams do battle. So another great crowd attendance for the NBL.
I think getting a ticket is going to be a hard thing. Whoever makes the grand final series. So to all my mates, stop asking. Can't help you. Perth are seriously unhappy with this call.
There's a foul on Webster, getting in and underneath Magnay as he's rolling to the rim. It's something we talked about pre-game. The lob threat of Magnay, others need to come in and help out, but Webster was just a count late there, and he picks up his third person.
3 for Webster, 3 for Pinder. Foul discipline, which we have spoken about all night long. Starting to become a big factor. Jack McVeigh with 3 of his own scores.
Nice left-handed touch there as well.
JackJumpers cut it back to 4 the difference. Still 6.5 minutes to play in this third quarter. It's been an eventful one so far. Ty Webster hasn't taken a field goal attempt in the game. There's his first. Harris with the offensive rebound. Second time around. Misses again. Here comes Crawford tearing down the floor. Out for Doyle. 3 of 16 the JackJumpers from long range. Just 18%. They shoot 37.7% across the season from there.
The right idea, just the pass was behind Harris.
You talk about those 3-point numbers. 1 of 6 is from Doyle. He's missed 5 looks from long range. Crawford 1 of 4. So a combined 2 of 10 from their import backcourt. But you just know that they're a chance to fire up at any point. We've seen that from Doyle, especially at times throughout this year. Quiet throughout the night, but can step up in crunch time and get his team over the line.
24 when the teams played in round 20 in Tasmania. He's back to some of his best on that night. Here he is in possession. His shot changed by Saar. Had to kick it out in the end. McDonald with 1 on the clock. Sean McDonald.
It's tough. Super quick release to beat the buzzer.
It's Doyle's first foul. He's one of the few that has nothing to worry about at the moment. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. The most improved player in the competition this year, Sean McDonald.
They wind it right down to the final second. Looked like Jonah Antonio let that thing off, didn't it? Shot, he's just been incredible this season. The way he's shot the ball, nearly 50% from long range.
He does everything and more that the coach asks of him. And you don't fluke winning a most improved player. That comes through hard work, dedication and commitment. So credit to him, but a massive shot when his team needed it.
Finalist last year, award winner this year. Saar short on the three. Magnay with his sixth, make that 7th rebound of the night. So go with his 6 points. Shot clock at 7. Doyle gets to work on Hiram Harris, and then with the left hand, puts Tasmania back in front.
That is pretty. That's a hell of a finish, and that's a guy that, yeah, he's missed a lot of attempts so far, but he'll be able to adjust. He is a scorer. He knows what he's been doing wrong in those misses, and the fact that it was only a 1-point game, they're looking pretty good.
A little tear at the moment. Tasmania, they've scored the last 7. And a chance to add to that.
And they're just rimming out from close range for the Wildcats right now. Hiram Harris has missed a few that were very makeable opportunities. The JackJumpers grabbing the momentum.
Jordan Usher getting ready to come back in for a bit of energy and some enthusiasm, which has been lacking in the last few minutes from Perth. Cotton down the lane, high off the glass, much needed basket.
He's doing all his work attacking the cup. You want to guard him, you want to take away the three-point looks, well, he'll use that against you, and right now he's got that finishing touch.
He's got himself up to 10 points. Gano Pinter, their leading scorer, with 13. Magnay rolls to the basket. What a great pass. And that'll be a Perth ball.
That's Ty Webster. That time he came across as the help man on time.
Yeah, spot on.
He was able to impact the play.
He could read the possession nicely. If you go too early, then they never throw the pass. He bided his time, read it beautifully, and then just liked his own work and just wanted to make sure one of the people in that beautiful red chair with the best seats in the house, that she appreciated the work also.
He is a walking social media post, Ty Webster. TikTok, Instagram, take your pick. He's a wonderful character. Perth 55, Tasmania 54. 4th meeting of the season between the two teams, and we mentioned off the top tonight, 4 of the last 5 meetings between them have been single-figure margins. Cotton off the back of the iron.
Well, we spoke to assistant coach Mark Radford at half-time, and he was upset about the tempo of the game. So far in this second half, you've got to say that Tassie JackJumpers have won it. The few open looks Perth have had is in transition when they've had an early drag or set-up screen. Other than that, it's been a half-court grind.
Certainly the tempo that we've come to expect from Tasmania. First half didn't really look like that at all. Saar foul. French next up will be shooting free throws.
Good find from Cotton. Double teamed, was able to get that ball through, and meanwhile down the other end, Milton Doyle's just starting to find his rhythm. Got to the cup off that silky smooth move and finished off the glass. Then he knocks down the mid-range. He's up and going now.
All of the data that you can hear Liam and Damo talking about, you can get it all at the NBL app for free. Download it from the App Store, Google Play. It is the perfect companion for every game, every single moment of this NBL 24 season. Just a quick break for Jordan Crawford. 17 points on 7 of 15 shooting. Alex Saar, when he first signed in the NBL, the man sitting next to me made that all happen. There was projections around the sort of 20 to 17 mark in the mock drafts at that stage. Not anymore.
No, he's right at the pointy end of those proceedings. Just has so much talent, potential. He has the chance to grow into become a real difference maker at the defensive end at that NBA level.
Could you imagine him and Wemby on the same team next season? Wouldn't that be extraordinary? Donald from the free throw line, nice touch. They've had the answers in the third quarter, the visitors. Trail by 3 at halftime. They currently lead by 2. Steindl goes to ground. There's Alex Sarr.
Great teamwork there by the Wildcats. Just kept moving the ball, knowing someone was going to be open, because once again there was a double team. Everyone moved into the open space. Unselfish play.
That's a very late whistle.
Oh, they might review this one. Jeez. I think Bryce Cotton might have given a little nudge to Clint.
Super late whistle. Here's the ball movement, the finish from Sarr. And then this is, now Bryce Cotton shoved Clint Steindl into Christian Doolittle. And that should have been a foul on Cotton, and it lands on Steindl. The 3 he then went on to hit is waved away.
And it also felt here in the venue that the whistle came after the reaction from Doolittle rather than the action. So a little bonus possession here for Perth. As Liam said, the 3 didn't count for Steindl. And Bryce Cotton will head to the free throw line to shoot 21 and 22 attempts for the night for Perth.
It's little things like that, though, that people don't appreciate that he's got in his game. He wasn't actually going into his shot at that stage, but he felt the bump, made sure he'd pick the ball up, make sure that he throws it up afterwards, and then you have to call 2 free throws. Other players might just take it, continue dribbling, you go take it out from the baseline. Little things become big things, and that's what leads to being a league-leading scorer.
And it's interesting, he's out here kind of getting his flow going, getting to the free throw line, knocking it down. Meanwhile, Milton Doyle, who was getting going, is now calling his Jets on the bench. He's not in foul trouble. It's just part of the Scott Roth rotations. He's not out there.
Would you have left him out there?
I would have left him out there, but Scott Roth is a far better coach than any of us.
You had some advice about your pocket square at halftime, though. He wasn't too keen on that one.
We'll work on it.
Mind you, he also came over and said, I'm the worst left-handed shooter he's ever coached.
He did say that.
That is true.
That would put you right between the eyes.
Usher found himself a little bit of space. And at first the Perth fans thought that was a foul going their way. It's actually against Jesse Wagstaff. Sure he's too happy with that call. Even in the 12 minutes that he's played tonight, Jesse Wagstaff, plus 11 in his time on the floor.
Yeah, it's no surprise. He brings out the best in Bryce, but he brings out the best in his teammates, because they know at the defensive end, he'll be the first to dive on a loose ball. He'll be the first to box out. And because he's doing it, his teammates know I better lift as well for my skipper. And then offensively, he's just got basketball IQ. You wish you could coach it. Sorry, you could teach it. Sometimes you just naturally got it, and Jesse does.
Steindl leaves that one short. Last minute of the third quarter. Here's Cotton. 0 of 4 now from long range. Crawford at the other end, looks for the quick 3. He's no good either.
Both teams cold, both teams shooting in the low 20% from three-point territory.
And Doolittle forces his way in and banks it home. Tough finish from Christian Doolittle. An important late bucket for Perth. And now it's Tasmania's turn. Down 4. 10 seconds to play. Usher reaching in.
I had one to give.
That's his second. Cotton comes out.
This is where I think it makes sense to bring Doyle back in. Scott Roth feels similarly. He's going to check him back in. Final possession of the third. Tassie's so good at executing their stuff in these situations.
Even 10 seconds to work with for the visitors. Clock down to 3. Doyle, as tough as it gets.
Great defense by Christian Doolittle, but I don't know if that's what they would have drawn up going into the final 10 seconds.
It's three-quarter time at RAC Arena. The Perth Wildcats leading 62-58. Stick with us. We have got a big fourth quarter coming your way next in the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's three-quarter time at RAC Arena. The Perth Wildcats leading 62-58. Points at a premium in that third quarter. Perth only scored 16. Tasmania 15 as the pace of the game really started to change to Tasmania's liking. And I think there's the one bloke supporting Tasmania in amongst the 10,623 others who are here tonight supporting the Wildcats.
It's taken us to the start of the fourth quarter to find him, but we found him. A bit of a Where's Wiley going on tonight. Be exactly right. It's all about tempo. The team that controls it tends to find putting points on the board a little bit easier. When it becomes a halftime grind, that means the tempo's in favour of Tassie, and that's why that's only a 4-point margin, but at times they took the lead.
Usher for 3 to start the quarter. That's nothing but fresh West Australian air. Doyle is fouled at the other end. Joe Healy, a bit of concern for Christian Doolittle right now.
There was a little, the coaching side just conscious that he copped a knock, so they brought him out of the game to check on him. Safe to say he was completely against it. He kept saying, no, I'm good, it was just a knock to my jaw. But the coaching staff obviously did their due diligence. They took him out the back. They brought him back now. There have been a couple of thumbs up, so hopefully we'll see him out there again shortly. Case, what's happening down there?
It's a real privilege to be involved in the huddle with Scott Wright, the way he goes about his coaching. Lots of interaction. He had plenty of input from his team as well as himself as Jack McVeigh lights it up from deep. And the last words he left his team with were, enjoy the moment. Go out there and enjoy the moment. That's fantastic coaching.
I think they'll enjoy that first possession.
Yeah, that's terrific. What a great message. It's the playoffs. You've got to play with a little bit of freedom, as tense as it is. And McVeigh, much-needed three-point hit to begin this fourth term.
Crawford's been a handful, but this time shares with McVeigh, pick and pop, back-to-back threes from Jack McVeigh.
We'd seen him for 13.5 minutes in the first 3 quarters. Because of foul trouble, he's back out there, and you'd think that he'd already dropped 20 points right now. Good on him for backing himself, and good on his teammates for running plays for him.
All NBL second team for a reason. Huge statement in the first minute from Tasmania. They've thrown a couple of big right hands. Bryce Cotton is called for a foul, which is Perth's second in the first 90 seconds.
And that's exactly what Scott Roth was after when he gave him that message. Great reporting from you, Case. Enjoy the moment. You know, we're a little tense. We're not shooting the rock with that freedom of spirit and mind. And McVeigh obviously heeding that message. Bang, bang, back-to-back triples, and the JackJumpers are in the lead.
Red 5. The other thing McVeigh brings to the game and to his teammates that he's sorely missed when he's sitting on the bench due to foul trouble is that enjoyment. So it almost took his coach saying to everyone else, hey, just enjoy yourself, back yourself, because he's usually the emotional leader out there as well, getting everyone else involved because of his excitement and passion for the game.
And now he's such a threat as a pick and pop guy. They're putting him in these ball screen actions every time. Here he comes again.
Perth are having trouble just not fouling at the moment. This time McVeigh puts the ball on the floor, finds Marcus Lee underneath. They've scored the first 8 of the fourth quarter.
Aren't they a different looking team with Jack McVeigh out there right now? He is doing whatever he wants.
Cotton trying to change that for Perth. To the groans of the RAC Arena crowd, they can sense that momentum is shifting in this game right now. Doyle takes the ball. Inflow to Lee, 2 more, timeout Perth, 10 unanswered points to start the fourth. Tasmania make their move, 68-62 at RAC Arena. Wow, what a start.
Absolutely spectacular stuff from the JackJumpers. So great to get that report from Case too, from that three-quarter time huddle. The tone of the message from Scott Roth, just loosening everybody up a little bit as they walk out on the floor, and now it's all smiles.
Isn't it funny that if we didn't have that insight, sometimes you say, what was said at that quarter, end of quarter? You know, it must have given them a rocket up. No, it was all about breathing, relaxing, and having some fun.
What a message to get though, isn't it? Enjoy it, have some fun. You know, there's national and global eyeballs on this game, but just have fun. 68-62. 7 minutes 50 remaining, but the next 2 minutes are crucial for Perth.
Well, what a contest here at RAC Arena. Both teams in front in each of the 4 quarters so far, and it was only a matter of time before the three-point threat from the JackJumpers came to life. They were 4 of 20 at three-quarter time, but when you've got 3 players inside the top 10 in three-point makes and 2 others who lead the competition in percentage, that's 5 different players who get it done from deep.
That's a great point. At some point it was going to start the drop for Tasmania. And it took Jack McVeigh to change things. Perth have to find some answers. Pinder, he's been their sharpshooter all night long.
Just continues to produce. 4 of 6 now from long range. His best three-point shooting night of his NBL career.
They would have prepared heavily for this game, Perth, Tasmania, but not for that from Keanu Pinder.
Well, you said they've got to find an answer. It may not come through the hands of Bryce Cotton because he's getting double-teamed every time there is an on-ball screen. I thought I'd set him up nicely there. He could have knocked it down. But is it going to be the Pinder? Can he continue to shoot the ball like he has so far?
He's 0 for 6 now, Cotton, from long range. The whole Red Army crowd, every time he rises up, they feel like the damn wall's about to break.
Oh, he loves these moments.
Jordan Crawford. High and unsuccessful. 68-65. The tension inside RAC Arena is palpable right now. Doolittle again in the mid-range. Loves it there. Cuts it back to 1. Christian Doolittle has 9 points to go with 4 rebounds. Here's Doyle, 3 of 15 from the field tonight. Inside for Marcus Lee.
Good attack from Milton Doyle. He's having a rough night at the offensive end. 3 of 15 from the field, 1 of 8 from long range, but still aggressive, and he's got 5 assists now.
Marcus Lee's got himself up to 16 points. Big night for him at the office. It's an equal season high.
Just so efficient as well. 8 of 10. A lot of those are drop-off passes. Sets a good screen, forces his defender to make a decision, and then he gets rewarded when he does get left and he's wide open under the rim.
Tough whistle here on Sean McDonald. As Cotton runs into him.
Oh.
McDonald picks up the foul.
Lee comes out, Magnay back in. Crawford, Trimmick, McVeigh, Magnay, Doyle. Out there for Tasmania, Webster, Usher, Cotton, Hiram Harris. And Keanu Pinder for the Wildcats, who trail by 3. Ty Webster trying to make something happen. Trimmick got one in the face. Pinder kept playing and has 18.
He had no right to get that O board. Will Magnay had inside position, but Keanu Pinder's timing on it was impeccable.
18 and 6 is Keanu Pinder's stat line for the night.
Just wanted it more. He's juiced the talk on the defensive end as well. He's knocking down the 3 ball. And I like this timeout from Scott Roth. JackJumpers called for time. They had the advantage. The answer from the Wildcats out of the huddle, and now it swings back to the JackJumpers, and Scott Roth wants to chat about it.
70 to 69. Fatigue becoming a big factor.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer that a lot of the coaching is done Monday through Thursday. It's on the players when the bright lights are on and the ball's being thrown up for the game. Coaching has been amazing tonight. A game of chess between the two.
One more move, one more low split, one more inside cut. Stay hot and screening from below. We're getting those opportunities. We're underneath. Jack is going to come and get you. Mags is going to step to the outside. JC's like he's coming off and he's stepping. Jack's back in the sweet spot. Don't need a 3 ball. All right? Listen, dig in right now. 5 minutes. Finish your possessions. All right? Together. 1, 2, 3 together.
Cool and calm.
Yeah, just making sure they're all on the same page. Taking the air out of the game a little bit as the Wildcats grabbed a little momentum. Of course, we've spoken about Milton Doyle, but that man right there, Bryce Cotton, he's lurking. He is lurking in this moment. They've done a good job making life tough for him. 0 for 6 from long range, but it's just going to take one to really fire him up.
Tasmania scored the first 10 points of the 4th quarter. Perth have gone on a 7-2 run since. Tip-in will count. They're having that sort of quarter at the moment, the JackJumpers. Pinder, not again. Absolutely.
Loving it as he backpedals with the 3 fingers out as well.
5 made 3s for the night for Keanu Pinder. He is the game's leading scorer with 21 points. He's beating Tasmania in a variety of ways, including the least likely of the lot. Hiram Harris reaching in, fouls Magnay.
Well, Magnay needs this. He needs something positive because he can't work it out at the defensive end. He wants to stay near the cup, but Pinder is punishing him for it. 5 of 7 from long range. You see Will Magnay, he's bemused, befuddled, doesn't know what to do.
Now the free throw line has been an adventure for Will Magnay this season. 56% coming into tonight. He misses both, and the home fans love that.
Gold! 3, baseline. Gold 3. Got a hold
Anthony
on the
Trimmick
rebound.
called for the foul.
I think everyone was looking around wondering who that was going to get called on. The Wildcats do have the 4 team fouls, so Tassie JackJumpers, if they start playing a little bit more aggressive. They're going to spend some time at the free throw line with some freebies.
Scott Roth switches the matchup. Jack McVeigh goes to Keanu Pinder. And Magnay switches on to Hiram Harris.
Game 1 of the playoff series, 72 each, inside the last 5 minutes. What a night it's been so far. Hiram Harris, the spin and the finish. Perth get the lead back. Now they get the ball back.
Hey, don't go that to me.
What about the feeling in this game?
Thanks. You can't do that.
Here's the fight for the loose ball. Harris and Doyle. The referee comes in to get involved with Jordan Usher to clear him away, and there's a little bit of extra physicality in that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got to love finals basketball. Everyone's getting involved, refs included.
Crawford changed his mind late. Ended up being the wrong decision. Wildcats by 2. Pinder down the lane. Can't score.
5-on-4. Pinder a long way behind the play.
Jack McVeigh wide open. Doesn't get it to drop. Perth dodge a bit of a bullet. This time it's Ty Webster slow to get up. Usher, big moment. Big moment.
Huge hit from Usher. Great kick out from Pinder. The double team came. Easy offense, and Usher knocks it down.
And Hiram Harris caught up in a little wrestle. And Perth are over the limit.
And all of this has come from the three-point shooting from Keanu Pinder.
Yep.
It's forced the JackJumpers to react. They switch McVeigh on to Pinder. So Pinder goes to the block. They have to double. Usher's left open. Pinder has changed this game by knocking down those shots.
Hiram Harris's layup on the previous possession became because there was an open keyway. There was a switch. Magnay's out guarding Bryce. Bryce would usually take it, but no, we've got someone on a closeout with an empty key. I'm going to throw it to Harris.
Jack McVeigh, an 80% free throw shooter for the season. He was the spark at the start of the 4th quarter. Brings it back to a 3-point game with 3 minutes remaining at RAC Arena. We saw a thriller last night in Melbourne. We are headed that way here in the West. Harris, little dump off for Pinder, but he travels first.
The threat of Magnay. Went to rise up, saw Magnay right in front of him. Had to go to something else and shuffled his feet.
John really not happy with the call, but it's hard to dispute that one. Webster's hands were important. What about the roar? Ty Webster.
It's one thing to get a deflection, it's another to be first on the ground. He managed to do both. That's a massive play, and he's got the Red Army up off their feet.
He dived on that ball like his life depended on it.
Well, you know it better than anyone, Damo. Nothing gets the Red Army amped more than a big-time defensive play in crunch time.
Look at the passion on display. He loves it.
Wagstaff comes back into the game. Webster, Usher, Cotton, and Pinder out there alongside him. Crawford, Drimmick, McVeigh, Magnay, and Doyle for Tasmania. Turnover. Off the inbound.
Wow, geez. Good pressure from the JackJumpers. A little sloppy from Perth. And they give it away.
Two of the best fourth quarter teams in the competition across the regular season. And certainly from a Tasmania perspective, so many of their wins were closed out back end of the game. This will test their toughness and their discipline. Crawford sees a path to the basket. Hands off to Magnay. Big jam and one.
That's an incredible offense. All along I thought, you know what, they're going to do whatever it takes to get the ball to McVeigh. No, we're just going to execute a team offense and take what presents itself. Hell of a penetration down the middle by Doyle. Even better drop off, even better finish.
Beautiful play call, as you say, perfectly executed. Doyle times it to perfection. Strong finish. That's Milton Doyle's 6th dime for the game. And the JackJumpers respond in turn.
And Magnay will come back to shoot the bonus free throw. Is momentum with anyone at the moment?
Ask me every 30 seconds and I'll give you a different answer. They're the type of plays, though, that it doesn't matter, you're down one, you feel like momentum's with you, you feel like you've got the upper hand. If he can knock down this free throw, obviously it's tied up, Tassie feeling pretty good about themselves.
I feel like the Wildcats missed an opportunity to continue to go at Pinder in the block. They've switched that matchup. It's McVeigh has that job right now. You know they're probably going to send a double and you can get them in rotations, but they've gone away from Pinder these last few possessions.
Well, he has been the star of the night, Keanu Pinder, 21 points. But the big stat line is 5 of 7 from outside.
Well, it's like they knew what the game plan was going to be on him defensively, and he's backed himself to punish them accordingly. And the rule of thumb is if you're guarding someone you might consider at times a non-shooter, if they make 2, you adjust. There's been no adjustment until the fourth quarter when they have put a smaller opponent on him, but it could be too little too late because now he's happy to take him down into the post. He's been sensational on both ends of the floor, but in particular behind the three-point line.
Shot it with confidence all night.
Oh, it's been huge. Whoever's guarding him is an elite rim protector. Pressure on Magnay now at the stripe.
He misses. 2 of 5 from the stripe, Will Magnay. Perth by 1. As we tick down to 2 minutes remaining, Doyle is called for a hold.
So the response from John Riley here with that switch, Magnay on a Hiram Harris. He's brought Harris out and Wagstaff back in because he's a three-point shooter. So now Scott Roth switches it back. He puts Magnay on Keanu Pinder. And the status quo is returned.
And Webster for Pinder. Blocked by Magnay. That caught a bit of the body. And some concern for Magnay with his injury history. I guess every time he hits the floor like that, our hearts are in our mouths.
Replay center, can you confirm? Sorry, I'll come back to you, do what we need to do.
Here's another look at it.
Jeez, I don't think that's a foul. Clean up the top. That's the athletic contest that we're looking for at the rim. Okay, a bang-bang play with the body, but if it's clean up the top and the body contact did not happen first, that should be a no call.
Would you have challenged that?
I would have. I mean, I've got the luxury of watching a review, but typically the head coach will turn to one of the assistants saying, is it worth reviewing? I agree with you, Liam. I think it's all clean after it leaves Keanu's hand.
First one in the bank for Pinder.
Hey, got time.
A deep breath. And he makes the second. Takes his tally to 23. And 3 points separate these teams as we hit the final 2 minutes at RAC Arena. We saw an epic contest in round 11. McVeigh unsuccessful that time. Trimmick called for a foul on the arm. Scott Roth thought about a challenge then.
Got a wide open look. McVeigh, here's the contest.
Initial all ball, and then I'd say maybe afterwards, if you review that, I think in the end, they'll keep it as a foul.
Only just. Liam, you don't see
all ball initially, I'll give you that. What do you think? What do you think?
Scott Roth wants the challenge.
Okay.
He took every moment available. He thinks it's cricket, so he's giving the...
He'll let the DRS.
He doesn't quite know what the signal
at
is.
some stage. Where's he hit him?
And before Mabry says, I know what you mean, mate, we'll challenge. We'll send it to the replay centre.
So it's just a question of that late contact, Damo, that you were talking about. First contact, I think, undeniably all ball.
Had the ball come out of his hands with that initial contact, I think it would have been play on regardless of where the hands go afterwards. But he doesn't dislodge the ball initially. Then when he goes to throw the pass, that's where I think there could be some influence on the power of the pass because of a potential foul. But I'm happy to be wrong. More often than not, I am.
The call is a hands foul. That was ball.
So just right at the end on the elbow, maybe. I think it's clean initially.
At first contact, oh yeah, maybe a little on his elbow. I think the way you described the impact on the power of the pass was a beautiful thing, Damo. Perfectly articulated, and I think you bang on.
Replay centre taking all the time they need. If unsuccessful, Perth will walk to the other end and shoot free throws.
After review, the coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the floor is confirmed. We have 2 shots to repeat.
I was getting nervous, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't that confident.
Yeah, Vaughan Mabry there. Ball, then arm is the explanation to Scott Roth.
Keanu, wow, what a game he has put together.
Seven of 12 from the field. 5 of 7 from deep. 6 of 7 from the free throw line. (81-76). Crawford has gone a little quiet in this second half. Not that time. Ball to be won. Perth take care of it.
Well defended by the Wildcats. They knew that play, they had the scout, and they broke it up.
And more free throws to come. Joe Healy, you were listening to John Riley.
I was. You'll be happy with that defensive set as well. He said, guys, we cannot relax on McVeigh. If you end up on him, don't get caught ball watching. Likewise with Doyle or Crawford, he said, keep with them with their off-the-ball movement. Let's stay locked in at this end.
In case no Will Magnay at the moment.
Will Magnay, it will not be back for the game. They can't come back. There is concern about his right foot.
Short turnaround between games too.
Short turnaround, a lot of flying. That is a big concern for the Tassie JackJumpers. As we've seen tonight, though, the team doesn't just rely on him. They've got plenty of options.
Perth are almost icing this game from the free throw line.
90% free throw shooter, misses the back end, but he gets the offensive rebound and he's straight back to the stripe. Frustration builds for the Jackies as this one's starting to slip away.
Cardinal sin, giving up an O-board on offensive rebound, in particular when it's the shooter.
190 of a 214 coming into tonight. Bryce Cotton from the line.
No, Clint Steindl, we've come to learn.
There's a chance of MVP. Echo around RAC Arena. There's his wife in the crowd. She's ridden the roller coaster this season. In fact, it wasn't, my apologies, just someone who likes Bryce.
Shout out to Rach Cotton. She is here in attendance.
She is here. That's just not her. I don't want to cause an issue, so we'll just move on from that one. 84-76.
Chance for the JackJumpers to eat into the margin with the clock stopped.
And Keanu Pinder fouls out.
Two shots.
Crawford steps to the line.
One shot.
A minute 16 doesn't seem like a lot, but it is more than enough for Tasmania.
Plenty of time. The mindset as a JackJumper is we just cannot allow any more points. And on the flip side, if we get some stops, they're going to have 2 looks. They are going to have some opportunities to try and get some threes down. But if Perth score, that could be it.
Sean McDonald checks in to guard Bryce Cotton.
Perth have still got the ball in the backcourt. Now they advance it and can soak up all of the available time.
55!
Their lead is 6. A bucket here, and it makes things very hard for Tasmania. Usher steps up. No good. Big rebound by Ty Webster. Bonus possession for the Wildcats, and again, they can use all of the allotted time. Webster must shoot. Does shoot. And might just bury the JackJumpers on RAC Arena. Ty Webster, with less than 2 seconds on the shot clock, makes it a big challenge now for the visitors.
Tassie did everything right except get the offensive rebound. Who got it? Ty Webster. Tassie did everything right, double teaming, getting it out of Bryce's hands. There's no Keanu Pinder, but it goes to Webster, and once again, he hurts the JackJumpers. Massive back-to-back plays by Ty Webster.
All kinds of clutch. We spoke pre-game. Hey, the JackJumpers are going to get the ball out of Bryce's hands. Other guys have got to step up and knock down shots, and Pinder's led the way with 5 made triples, but Webster, Hiram Harris, Jordan Usher, a whole bunch of Wildcats have stepped up in those moments and made it count.
Gee, think about the start of the quarter. Tasmania came out and scored the first 10 points. Perth have held their nerve here.
Held their nerve, and Bryce has held his nerve, because whilst he's being double-teamed, he's not getting the assists either the majority of the time. It's usually his pass leads to the eventual score, but he hasn't been rattled. He's like, no, I'm going to back my teammates. And I think they've fed off that confidence he's instilled in them.
$10 points to 2 down the stretch. Most of them coming from the free throw line. JackJumpers need a quick score.
Great offense.
Good look for Doyle. It goes. It's back to 6. Still 35 seconds left. Usher from underneath is fouled. And he's not happy about it too. Jordan Usher made a beeline for Marcus Lee. That's been threatening to boil over all night, and at the very end of the game, it nearly has.
Well, it was heavy contact. Marcus Lee, no layup rule was in effect, had to come across and contest. There was a little extra in it here as he sent him to the ground, a contact around the head.
Yeah, I missed that left hand around the head initially.
That's a coat hanger.
Let's see if we can see Jordan's response to it, because he was up and off the floor and making that beeline straight to Marcus Lee.
I have an unsportsmanlike foul on Lee. I just wanted to look at it for a potential upgrade.
There's the reaction.
We heard the word from referee Vaughn Mabry. They've sent it up to the replay centre to review for a potential upgrade to a disqualifying foul, which would send Marcus Lee to the change rooms. He needed to come across and make a solid play on that, and without giving up the unsportsmanlike. Doyle had just knocked down the 3-ball. He cut it to a 2-possession game. And he had the opportunity there to say, all right, no layup, go to the free throw line. Let's see if you can knock it down and tick it over the hard way. And he brought a little extra venom.
Sticking with an unsportsmanlike foul. Marcus Lee will come out of the game. Wasn't WWE here a couple of weeks ago, Damo? That was...
Yeah, not too far from here. Not too far. The old coat hanger, I think we called it there.
Then we've got to penalise you if something happens as well, right? Otherwise, we're 2 in possession.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of emotion in game 2.
Is there ever? Nine points for Jordan Usher off the bench tonight. He makes that 10. Perth are just about there, as you can see, Monday night in Tasmania at a sold-out RAC arena. Where do they play again? My State Bank Arena. It's been a big night. Wagstaff can't finish it off. But time's a big factor now for Tasmania. McDonald quick release 3. And now the victory lap can start. 10,500 fans stand as one. The Perth Wildcats on their home floor have been very hard to stop all season long. And in game 1 of the playoff series, they win it 89-81 and head to Tasmania 1-0 up.
And it had a bit of everything. It wasn't about one individual player for the Perth Wildcats. Outside of Keanu Pinder, we thought that would have been Bryce Cotton. Everybody stepped up. Pinder was the man, though, and for Tassie, it was a well-rounded team effort. And then at the end, when Jack McVeigh finally got some minutes due to foul trouble, he was out on the court. He was sensational in those minutes.
That's big for Perth. A lot of people in fancy Tasmania coming into tonight.
It was a big chance for him to come in. 5 games, 1 in a row, and bring that momentum and, you know, grab this first win. But Keanu Pinder wasn't going to have it. The Perth assistants.
Are you not allowed to make a prediction these days?
Did you predict it was going to be a sweep?
It may still be a sweep, Damo. Keanu Pinder changed this game, fellas. 5 of 7 from long range. Those 3-point hits in the 4th quarter when they were desperately needed. Just hugely influential. Cotton having a tough night. 3 of 12 from the field. 0 of 6 from long range. But others, led by Pinder, stepping up, and they grab first blood.
They sure do. And the man of the moment, the man of the night, the footlocker player of the game, Keanu Pinder, is with Joe Healy.
He is indeed, Keanu. That was a tough, gritty win. A lead change in the 4th quarter as well. How were you guys able to get it done?
Just shut them down defensively and play as a team. I think we did a good job at the end of the game, so yeah.
5 made threes for you. What had you so locked in from deep tonight?
Oh, we had 2 big stops, so I've had a lot of time to practice. Or 3.
What does this win say about this team as you head into game 2 on Monday?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, sir.
What does this win say about the team as you head into game 2 on Monday?
We're ready. We're ready. This is what we're here for, you know. That's why they built this team, to win the championship, so we're going to try to do that.
Good luck for it. We'll see you in Hobart.
Yes, sir.
What a night it was for Keanu Pinder. Great night for the Perth Wildcats. They take game 1, 89-81. We're back to wrap it up next.